this challenge, I'll create a little program to have fun with the stamp and clear blocks. I'll use a different sprite. I'll delete the cat sprite. New sprite. I'll go to Things. Use button 1. I want the stamp and clear blocks. I'll go to Pen, Stamp, and Clear. I can look at the help for the stamp block. Block help, stamp. The stamp block stamps the sprite's image onto the stage. The stamped image is temporary. It doesn't change the backdrop. The clear block removes all stamp and pen marks. Here's an example. Clears the stage. For 8 times, the sprite will move 70 steps, turn and stamp, move 70 steps, turn and stamp, and do this 8 times. Each time stamp is run, the sprite's image is stamped onto the stage. I'll try it. Close. Click on Stamp. Move the sprite. There's its image stamped on a stage. Do it again. Stamped again. One more time. There again. I'll click on the clear block to erase them. The stage is clear. That's simple enough. First I'll make a little program where the sprite will follow the mouse pointer around while the sprite changes its color. Then I'll add a few things to make it more fun to play with and easier to use. I'll need a loop. Go to Control, Forever. When the green flag is clicked, go to Events. When the green flag's clicked, I want the sprite to point to the mouse. I'll go to Motion, point towards the mouse pointer. Move clear out of the way. Now that the sprite is pointing towards the mouse, even though there's no front or back of this round button sprite, when it moves, it'll move towards the mouse. I also want to change the color effect. Looks, change color effect. I'll change the effect by 10 instead of 25. Now when the green flag's clicked, the sprite will loop, pointing towards the mouse pointer, moving 10 steps toward it, change its color, then stamp its image on the stage. I'll run it now. Click on the green flag, and there it goes after the pointer, moving around. Goes pretty quickly. I'll stop it now. It would be fun if I could try different step and change effect values. I'll go to Data, make a variable, my steps, for this sprite only, okay. Bring the monitor down. I'll double click, and one more time. Now I have a slider that I can change the variable's value with. I'll initialize my steps to 10, and I'll use my steps in the move. I'll do the same thing for the color effect. Make a variable, call it my color change for the sprite only, okay. Bring it down. Double click, bring it down a little more. I'll set my color change to 5 instead of 10. I'll use its value in the change color effect block. Now when the green flag is clicked, the variables are initialized and the sprite will loop pointing at the mouse, moving, changing the color effect, and stamping its image on the stage. How well will this work? I'll run it. Click on the green flag. I think I'd like it to clear the stage first. I'll move around here. Change some values now. Go with smaller steps maybe. Move slower. Change the rate of color change. Moves around nicely. I can make more color changes. Move faster. I'll stop it now. I like to start with a clean stage. I'll duplicate clear, add it in. I'd like to be able to clear the stage sometimes without stopping the program. I'll go to Events. When the C key is pressed, C, I want to clear the stage. I'd also like to be able to pause the stamping so I can change the steps and the color change values then continue running with the new values. How can I do that? How can I pause the actions in the forever loop? I'll go to Control. Wait for a number of seconds. Even a fraction of a second won't work. The sprite will only move slower while it waits each time. How about wait until? Wait until waits until this condition is true. I want to tell it to wait, so I'll use a variable. I'll go to Data, make a variable, call it myPaused, question mark, for the sprite only, okay. I'll bring it down, won't fit, double click, move it in between. Wait until, want to wait until myPaused is equal to an N for no. Go to Operators, equal, back to Data, myPaused equals the letter N for no. I want the sprite to start paused so I can set the values before it starts. So what should myPaused be set to initially? I'll set it to a Y for yes. Now when it starts, it'll wait at the top of the loop until myPaused is equal to an N. Starting as a Y, it'll be paused here. How can I change the variable's value while the program's running? I don't want to try using the slider on the monitor, but I could make it work. What's a better way I can set the variable? I'll go to Events. When a key is pressed, I'll use the space key. It'll be easiest if I toggle the value in myPaused back and forth between Y and N each time the space key is pressed. I'll go to Control, if else, duplicate. When the space key is pressed, if myPaused is an N, I want to change it to a Y. Data, set myPaused to a Y. Else, myPaused is a Y, I want to set myPaused to an N. Now each time the spacebar is pressed, spacebar will be toggled between a Y and an N value. If the sprite is waiting for myPaused to be equal to an N, it has the value of Y. Then when I press the spacebar, it'll toggle the value to N, and the sprite can change and move on the stage. I'll run the program now. Click on the green flag. The stage is cleared, that's good, and the variables are initialized. I can change some values now. I'll make the step smaller. Make the color change larger. I'll press the spacebar. Here comes the sprite, changing and moving. I'll press the spacebar again to pause it, and it pauses nicely. I can change the values again. Less color change, bigger steps. Press the spacebar again. Moving faster, and color is changing slower. Working nicely. I'll stop it. I'm finished with this challenge. I encourage you to play with the program and get comfortable using stamp and clear. Also, be sure you understand how wait until works in the program. Try changing the program. Try using different effects. Try adding and using different costumes. Go to Costumes, and see which ones make visual effects that you like. Lots to choose from. But above all, have fun with the program.